I'm joined by Joergen Moeller. He is in Singapore. He's visiting senior research fellow at the Institute of Southeast Asia Studies. Welcome to you, Joerg. I wonder what you think of this debate about how much of a disaster it would be if Greece were to default. The Greeks saying the pain of that would be far worse than repaying their debtors. What do you think?
Psychologically, it would certainly be a problem. Economically, it wouldn't. It has long been known that what the European Union and the Eurozone was doing for Greece and later for Ireland and Portugal was simply to buy time, to prevent the negative effects from being too contagious, and to make sure that German, French banks, which were heavily exposed to Greece, Portugal and Ireland, had time to improve their balance sheets. So the news is not that this is discussed. The news is that actually it's brought out into the open. So I wouldn't take it, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
When you say that, do you think that a Greek default is inevitable at some point?
It has long been known that it was a possibility which we would have to face up to sooner or later. And a restructuring is not necessarily a default. A restructuring may also mean that you change the payback period of the Greek borrowing. And I think that that is a thing you will have to discuss when a country is in the situation as Greece are.
A situation in which investors, bondholders have to take a haircut, that is a default of a type, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends on what a haircut is. If a haircut is that you get your money back 3 or 4 or 5 years later, then you would have expected to get them. I wouldn't really call it a serious incident. And we should also bear in mind that those who have lent to Greece knew that they were running a risk, and eventually they will have to face up to that.
Let me ask you about Spain while you're with us. Is Spain out of the woods, would you say?
Yes, certainly it is. If you look at the figures, the Spanish economy is actually reasonably well, and neither the debt, the sovereign debt, nor the deficit measured to gross domestic product is in the worrying range. And the exposure of the Spanish banks are, compared to GDP, much more manageable. That was the case for Ireland or Greece or Portugal. So I don't think that there's any reason to worry about Spain. Definitely not.
I want to ask you about the global economy quickly. What is the big hurdle in 2011, do you think? Is the end of QE2 going to be an event that knocks confidence?
I'm sure that we will have lower growth. Just a few days ago, the International Monetary Fund downgraded the growth for the US from 3% to 2.8%. And I'm sure that we will see a tightening of monetary policy. And you may actually argue, well, that is the right policy to pursue right now, where you need to stimulate the economies. So I think that 2011 will not turn out to be a very happy year.
Okay, Joergen Moeller, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for being with us from the Institute of Southeast Asia Studies.